All right, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here. Today we're in the Austrian Alps. Absolutely beautiful. Set myself up a little workstation here. And in this video, I want to talk about how to actually use social media without getting sucked in, because you've probably noticed it as well. You've gotten quite addicted to social media. Maybe you're using YouTube a lot, Instagram a lot, Facebook a lot, whatever it is. And you're kind of worried about that. And maybe you're watching this because you want to be productive. You're someone who has goals in life and you're worried that social media is sucking you in too much, but yet you still need to use it in order to stay in touch with everybody and maybe even work on your business with that. So as someone who's made multiple $1 million over the last couple of years from social media, with social media, be it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth, I've learned a thing or two that you can use to protect yourself from the negative aspects of social media, while at the same time leveraging the positive aspects of social media. So with that being said, let's get started. And the first point that you need to know here is you need to understand how social media works, what the purpose of social media is, and where in that dynamic you as a consumer actually are. Interestingly enough, we all think social media is for free, right? And we're the consumers. But that's not true. What actually happens is we are the product that Instagram, YouTube, and so on and so forth is actually selling. It will give us a little bit of a good experience. We can connect with people, we can follow people, and so on and so forth. But ultimately, the purpose of these social media platforms is to make you stay on that platform, to increase the time you're spending on that platform, so they can then sell your information to companies so they can start running ads that are relevant for you, so you can buy their services, their products, and so on and so forth. And that's really interesting. If you look at interviews of former employees, former writers and programmers of these apps, they all say the same. They said, our objective was to increase the time that people spend daily on our platforms. Our objective was to keep as many people as possible from leaving our platform. And therefore we started getting into psychology. Therefore we started getting into, hacking, quote unquote, the reward system in people's brains, so they get dopamine spikes whenever they're using our social media platform, and so on and so forth. A very interesting, very scary documentary, you've probably heard of it, is that social media documentary. What was it called? I forgot what the name is, but we're gonna edit it in here. We're gonna show which one it is. And interestingly enough is you have to realize that in order to change your mind from this is not a free service for you, you're actually being sold as the product. I know this because I'm spending thousands, tens of thousands of dollars every single month on paid advertising on YouTube, on Facebook, and so on and so forth. So this is another little side note. I'm leveraging the power of social media to my advantage, and most of our clients are coming from paid ads. Right? Okay, they oftentimes stay along for a while because of our organic content, but eventually they always come to us and they convert. This is how you can nowadays, as a business owner, reach more people. So again, it has a big advantage. But anyways, that's the first point, right? So understand where you are in that equation, in that dynamic of social media, that you're not the consumer, you're actually the product. Which brings me to point number 2. You have to learn how to protect yourself from that, from being sucked into the vortex of social media. And then the third point, which is what we're going to talk about in a second, is how you can actually leverage the advantages of it. So how do you protect yourself from social media? Well, a very simple dynamic. You have to change your relationship to social media from being reactive to being proactive. You might have heard this concept before. This is not my concept. People talk about this all the time in context of all kinds of things, but basically what that means is, imagine you're really focused on working something, right? Maybe you're working on your business, or maybe you're in a conversation, a real life conversation at dinner with your girlfriend, and now bing, you get that notification or something flashes up on your screen. Now you look at it. The moment you look at it, you've just reacted to social media. Therefore, your relationship with social media is a reactive one. What you want to do is you want to decrease the reactivity of it to as much as you can, and you want to increase the proactivity of it. Another example is, what do most people do nowadays in the morning? They wake up, they check their phone, they check their notifications, they check, oh, who's following me, who commented on that, where's my DMs? Even with email, it's exactly the same. It's not even Instagram or YouTube or Facebook specific, but even with things like email, you're reacting to these things. Instead of getting up and being productive and working on something that you want to, now you're reacting and you're just replying to DMs, responding to emails, and so on and so forth. You got to get away from that reactivity. You have to get towards proactivity. What do I personally do? What I've been doing for years now in terms of proactivity is, number one, I turn off all notifications. All right, I turn off all notifications when it comes to any social media platforms. In fact, there's this function that most iPhones and Android phones have nowadays. It's called the Do Not Disturb mode. The interesting thing about the Do Not Disturb mode is it only allows calls to go through to you. If you get an SMS, a WhatsApp, some sort of notification for an app, it instantly gets swallowed up by the Do Not Disturb mode. Only calls go through. And interestingly enough, every person that is important in my life, my girlfriend, my family, my assistants, are instructed to call me if there's an emergency. Therefore, I have peace of mind that as long as there's no calls coming in, there might be messages coming in, but it is not urgent. And now I can proactively, Jesus Christ. Now I can proactively say, all right, every hour, every 2 hours, 3 times a day, I'm checking my notifications and I'm working them off. Therefore, I bring proactivity into reactivity. And that brings me to the third point, because a lot of people say, okay, stay away from social media. I get it. It's bad. But I have to reply to things. I have to, start my business with that. I have to post. I have to get in touch with my audience. How do I do that? Well, a little bit of a shout out to Joe Rogan, because he coined this term post and ghost. And that's exactly what I've been doing over the last couple of years. Never found a way to accurately describe it, but posting and ghosting is basically exactly, it hits the nail on the head. Basically, when you run a business or you want to build your own business and you have to engage a lot and you have to post a lot, well, you go on a platform, you post, and then you go away. You let it sit there, especially if you later on have to engage in a comment section. Again, here, proactively step in and say, I'm going to proactively set a time where I reply to all the DMs, reply to all the comments, and kind of read through the Facebook groups or whatever it is. So again, here, you can be very proactive with that posting. And this is something I've done for years. I would just post on Instagram. I would use it to engage with my audience. I would use it to post high quality content, and then I would get the hell out of that. I would, enjoy life like this. I would enjoy the beautiful view here. I would actually have real life conversations with my clients, with the people that are in my team, with my friends, family, loved ones, and so on and so forth. And by the way, if you haven't done so yet, I'm going to give you one more last tip before we wrap things up. Be aware of long form content versus short form content. Short form content is like TikTok, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, Instagram stories, highlights, and so on and so forth. These are all these short dopamine spiky things, and you cannot really learn anything from that. I can tell you right away, for example, if you create a YouTube video that is 20 minutes long instead of 9 minutes long, it will get only half the views because people are not used to engaging over long term anymore. However, that's where the learning really takes place. So a bonus point that I want to give you here is actually podcasts, because most podcasts are longer. Most podcasts allow you to dive into one specific thing. Podcasts are not hitting your dopamine receptors as much because they're not visual, they're just auditive. They're a great way for you to still engage with social media, to still, learn, get to know new stuff, or listen to your favorite creator. But at the same time, it doesn't hit the dopamine receptors as much. We actually have a very interesting podcast. My business partner, Nikita Gunkovic, and myself, we do have a very interesting and very informative and also very entertaining, we've been told, podcast. I'm going to link it down in the description below. You can check it out. In there, we talk much more about building and scaling a business, especially if you already have a quite successful business and you want to grow it, scale it, automate it. That podcast is for you. So that being said, this is how you can leverage the power of social media without getting sucked in. I put it very, very simple, just a couple of weight pointers for you. And ultimately, if you want to learn more about building your very first business, you probably are somebody that is interested in personal development, that is interested in personal growth. Well, what better way to grow nowadays than building your own business? Because with that, you can also finance a freedom lifestyle. You can travel around like me right now, enjoying this beautiful summer here at the lake in Austria. So if you want to know more on how to build your very first business, then head over to my website. I'm going to link you a free training course on there. There I'm going to show you my most successful clients, and I'm also going to break down the exact process that we've helped them to making their first 5 figures or multiple 5 figures a month completely from scratch. That training is entirely for free. Like I said, I'm going to link it down in the description below. You just click on it. It's a video presentation. You go through it, and it will also give you all the more information that you need to know in order to start yourself. So thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you over at that training, and signing off now. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, what's up? My name's Max and I closed my first 1.5k on Monday. So I already got to work together with my client and got to actually test out the program I've been building over the last few months. My future is looking very good, so I have plans for the next few months to get up to 10K, and it doesn't even seem really unrealistic. I just wanted to share this testimonial to maybe encourage somebody else to step into that as well. Alright, GG.